So good afternoon to all. A very warm welcome to the second session of the MQH Best Practices competition. We are having the education category now. We are privileged to have with us judges Dr. Alka Mitra. She's consultant and trainer, retired as is the Assistant Vice President of Reliance Industries Limited, along with Dr.
Hello,
Dashrath.
everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for your time.
My pleasure, always.
Thank you, ma'am. We have with us Dr. Dashrath Shetty. He is Digital Coordinator, Manipal Institute of Technology. Dashrath, yes. Hi. Thank you so much, Dashrath. Then we have Father Dr. Vincent Braganza, SJ, Director with Loyola Center for Research and Development, Xavier Research Foundation. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello from
Thank you,
Ahmedabad.
Father. Yeah. Thank you so much. So we'll now start the session with the first presentation from Global Indian International School East Coast. We have with us Oday Ranido, PYP Coordinator. Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. We have Anushri Shirali, PYP Teacher. Hello, and Anu. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you so much. So we will begin with your presentation. Yeah? Okay, thank you.
As Robert Swan once said, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. A pleasant day, everyone. I am Odaya Ranido, representing the GIIS East Coast Campus team. Together with me in this team are Ms. Anushri Shirali, Jay Shalani, and Kritin J. Paksutra. Our project title is Wise on Waste, and I am going to take you through our school's journey on dry and wet waste management and composting. In determining how we develop this best practice, we use the 5 W's and 1 H. We all know that we cannot live without food, water, and clean air. COVID-19 crisis has taught us how important all these are for us to live a healthy life. This crisis has unfolded disruptions in the domestic food supply chains. This is a wake-up call for all of us to be self-sustainable in food through minimal environmental impact. Singapore imports 90% of its food from other countries. Singapore government wants to be self-sustainable in the next 5 years. Hence, it has been encouraging urban agriculture in all its citizens. In school, we realized that if we managed both our wet waste and recyclables, we can reduce the impact on the landfill and help climate mitigation, which is the need of the hour. This project, inspired by the kindergarten section of our school, was led by the primary years program PYP students, particularly the PYP grade 5 class, and involved the entire school community, extending to the individual homes of our students, teachers, and staff. We have observed that both at home and in school, a lot of wastes, wet and recyclables, get generated on a daily basis. Some examples are raw kitchen wastes, cardboard boxes, beverage cartons, plastic cans, etc. All of these wastes, when not segregated, end up in the landfill. And the only landfill in Singapore, which is in Simacao Island, is filling up rapidly. To diffuse filling up Simacao Island, we need to change our mindset and take responsibility of our own trash. As a result of the PYP Grade 5 students' inquiry on biodiversity, their key learning explored was the impact of human actions towards the environment. This allowed students to rethink on the ways that we dispose of our wastes. This also led them to involve, encourage, and educate the school community and beyond to take this responsibility. Mails were sent from the principal's desk to get the entire school to be involved in these 2 doable projects. Stakeholders were trained virtually and physically about the process. Our students attended and conducted advocacy programs as part of the learning journey. We collaborated with Tetra Pak and conducted several workshops for kindergarten schools around Singapore on the importance of recycling and on the proper way of disposal of used beverage cartons, which we are doing until now. As a result of the learning, the PYP-5 students identified some of the problems that they observed in their classroom, in the school, and at home. They identified that there has been a huge lack of awareness of students, teachers, staff, and parents in terms of waste disposal. Most of their wastes are mixed up and not segregated at all. These were the possible projects identified by the class: dry and wet waste segregation, e-waste management, recycling, single-use plastic, and composting. A survey was conducted to select the project. We involved the entire school community to take part in the survey, and the top 2 projects selected were dry and wet waste segregation and composting. When we have a problem, it's important to explore all the possible root causes of a problem before we think of the final solution to it. And that was what we did through the cause and effect analysis using the Ishikawa diagram. As part of the implementation plan, workshops were conducted on composting to create awareness for staff and teachers, including our support staff, for parents, and for students. Similarly, workshops on recycling and proper disposal of used beverage cartons, UBCs, were also conducted for students and for the community, particularly to a number of kindergarten schools around Singapore. As mentioned earlier, mails were sent to all stakeholders to inform them of this initiative happening in school and to encourage everyone to replicate this practice at home. With regards to composting, PYP-5 students compared and contrasted whether they will do aerobic or anaerobic composting. They identified the similarities and differences of the two. They then decided to do aerobic composting as the process is faster. There is no need for special equipment and it seems to be easier to manage. The process of collection of used beverage cartons began, and everyone has been trained on how to do the flip, flap, flatten process. We also conducted a competition for the most UBCs collected class-wise and level-wise. The collection of kitchen wastes was done by the PYP-5 students in the PYP 1 to 5 classes, with approximately 50 students in total. We decided to collect from these classes only, as we may not be able to manage if the entire school brings in their kitchen wastes. Workshops, however, were conducted to inform them on the process and to encourage them to do the same at home. Here are some pictures on the composting process. And here are some photos on the collection of used beverage cartons. Within 3 months, we collected a total of 114 kilograms of wet wastes, generated 29 kilograms of compost, which were used in our herbal gardens, and collected 1,888 pieces of used beverage cartons, which were sent to designated bins to be sent to recycling factories in Malaysia to turn into roofing materials, paper, and other items. Some of the intangible results were tapping on students' naturalist intelligences, students becoming environment stewards and global citizens, and help students understand the effects of their actions on the environment. Here are some pictures of the gardens that we have in school. The ultimate learning that we got from this project was that we can minimize dry and wet wastes from reaching the landfills by turning yucky garbage to black gold, from kitchen wastes to compost, from just another trash to other useful items. We will not wait for someone else to save our environment. We can do it ourselves with the little steps that we do at home and in school. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. We will now move on to our next organization, Global Indian International School, Whitefield. We have with us Sukhdeep Kaur, teacher. Yeah.
Yes, good
Hello,
afternoon.
good afternoon, Sukhdeep.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Yeah.
everybody.
And we have Preeta Dimello, Headmistress Pre-Primary. Preeta.
Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon, ma'am. Yeah. Nice to have you both here.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Let's move on to the presentation.
Yes.
Greetings from Global Indian International School, Whitefield, Bangalore. Our team includes a set of very enthusiastic, revolutionary and progressive students, Tanisha Khanagav, Ansh Gulati and Samiksha Menon, and Miss Preeta Dimelo and I, Sukhdeep Kaur, their mentors of the project, The Flip Side, Dark Side of Social Media. We as a team via this project have understood the effects of increased exposure of young generation to social media which has been exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic. Social media is very popular among the young generation. There are many teenagers who engage with social media without analyzing its impact on their physical and mental health. We have proposed the solutions to mitigate this issue and find a balanced perspective to lead healthier lifestyles, especially for students in the age group of 12 to 18 years. In today's digital connected world, media has become the foremost way through which we can connect to the world outside. Children of today's generation give so much importance to social media nowadays that it has become their priority. They love being in the social media sites and forget about all the things that should come first for them, like family, sports and school. Young people have this habit of bullying their peers, and when it comes to cyberbullying, it affects a lot to the other peer, as this can be on the newsfeed of any person and can go viral easily. Sometimes such things can lead to depression as well as suicidal thoughts. The problem identification was not done in isolation. We used the nominal group technique as a logical method to rationalize, brainstorm our thought process, and identify and pinpoint the problem statement from a myriad number of issues faced by the younger generation. From these, using the NGT, we identified flip side, dark side of social media to be the issue of paramount importance, especially in times of pandemic. To get an unbiased and balanced perspective on the problem identification, the team also conducted surveys across a broad spectrum of 400 respondents. The survey was followed by interview of 50% of a sample population to get a deeper insight into the intrinsic details of the problems that were affecting them. 83.95% of the survey respondents and 50% of the interview respondents echoed that social media fixation and ills were indeed their top-of-mind problems that they were grappling with as they tried to adjust to the new normal of studying from home. We also conducted the survey in September 2020 to find out percentage of the sample population that is always, mostly, sometimes and never engaged in social media. The identified concern, that is negative impact of social media and its ills on younger generation, is further taken into research and study by the team of our 5 members. We wanted to go through a deeper introspection into the problem identified, so we used the Ishikawa or the cause and effect diagram to correlate the different causes and effect of this on various individuals, be it their parental engagement, social, natural and school environment or recognition aspect. We wanted to make sure that we left no stone unturned, and hence we also used the 5-why technique to zone in and arrive at a conclusive decision point on the root cause analysis. The 5-why technique helped us identify that young children seek their digital identity in this virtually connected world. Lockdown amidst pandemic has also led to increase in use of digital media, gadgets, internet, social networking, etc. Competition and peer pressure is forcing young children to use digital media extended hours to prove their mettle. Integration into digital connected society and fear of social isolation among friends and peers, and in general the loss of physical and face-to-face interactions, have led youth being exposed and in many cases overexposed to a digital world and social media. To remedy these problems, we brainstormed to arrive at a few potential solutions, namely encourage exercise, offline interest, and practice mindfulness. That is physical activity that helps oneself grow and clear any clustered thoughts. Change your focus. This solution aims at making children believe that being who they are and doing what they like is the best way to be happier, and many more solutions like this. We also conducted nominal group technique to find out the best solutions to remediate the issue. We have found out that by changing your focus and spending more time with offline friends and with positive use of technology, with decreasing the use of social media, we can connect more often to the people around us. Out of all the solutions, we wanted to handpick the best and most effective ones. To arrive at that, our team conducted a survey with the identified sample population. We found that being mindful of one's social media habits can help to be more proactive on ways to counteract the negative effects of social media. Social media may be quick and convenient, but there are healthier and more effective ways. Like taking up a new hobby, by practicing mindfulness, one can learn to live more in the present moment that lessens the impact of FOMO and improve overall mental well-being. After implementing of solutions in July 2020, we wanted to gauge the effectiveness of the solution, so a follow-up was done after 6 months and 11 months to gauge the initial success of our mission and project. We found tangible outcomes emerging in terms of increased personal connectedness of students with calls to friends and relatives. We also observed that there is increase in number of personal hobbies being undertaken because of freeing up of time. It also led an increase in number of books read by students either in physical or digital format. Each of the above implemented solutions join the 9 gems of our school. These 9 gems are the 9 key values that are taught to every student of GIIS. It is found that reduction of social media has made students more efficient and happier, and the importance of human connection and creativity of a person outside the screen, which has also led to the reduction in behavioral complaints from 300 to 110 in our school. We have found that reduction in social media has led to the intangible benefits like increase in self-esteem, increase in time and productivity, the awareness of physical activity that is needed by every person, adults, teens and children combined. I would like to validate this with a student testimonial who participated in this project.
I am a student of grade 8 GIIS Whitefield. Here are 5 benefits I experienced from a social media detox. Greater self-awareness. While I did not quit on social media overnight, I noticed how I felt better when I limited my usage of the platform. Number 2, an increase in time and productivity. Number 3, a better ability to focus. Number 4, improved self-esteem and sense of perspective. Number 5, reclaiming my sense of self. Thank you.
The project Dark Side Flip Side of Social Media started with 5 team members. At present, 400 students are participating in this project. 2 reasons for the rapid and projected increase in participation are it has brought an increase in confidence, focus and concentration of our students, which has led to the improvement in academic results and happiness index. This project has also received recognition and Platinum Award on Global Excellence Day. With this, I would like to say thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much for the very, very topical and current problems that students are facing. So that's really good presentation. We now move on to Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, Mumbai. We have with us Dr. Lochan Jolly, Dean, and Megha Gupta, Assistant Professor. Welcome. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So we move on to the presentation now.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, I present before you skill development through in-house internship, one of our best practices. The National Education Policy talks about more holistic and interdisciplinary education because it provides flexibility in the students to face the stiff competition for the job and become a global leaders. For this, we need to provide students with extra skills apart from the university curriculum. TCT identified the need of providing the extra skills and therefore encouraged students to go to the internship. But when we started sending our students for internship, as a part of our ISO process, we collected the corporate feedback, and the corporate feedback showed us that the students need a pre-orientation as they were not showing a professional attitude in an industry environment during internship. To rectify this problem, the team of TNP did a root cause analysis and identified that the students were not aware of the rapid advancement in the technology which was used in the industry and therefore lacked skills and experience to work on it, as there was a limited time during internship for them to understand their role, and also they lacked the soft skills. Further, the team did a why-by analysis to find out why the students lack the skills and are not able to perform. This is because there was no formal platform in the institute to train and orient the students before sending them to the industry so that they can perform better during internship. Taking the inputs from the root cause analysis and why-by analysis, the team developed a fishbone analysis and identified the 4 main reasons. The first was absence of the training programs to develop the knowledge, skills, and attitude as per the industry. Second was the curriculum is not updated as per the industry practices and therefore the student lacks skills. The first was the absence of training programs. Second was alignment of the curriculum. Third was absence of the learning platforms to enhance their skills. Fourth was a formal system to measure their knowledge, skills, and attitude before sending them to the industry environment. We also did a survey to identify what could be the best way to acquire the engineering practicing skill, in which 570 students of FE, SE, T, and B participated. The feedback received showed that the best way to develop the engineering practicing skills is in the laboratories and by developing the projects. Taking these inputs from the industry, the faculty, and the students, it was identified that there is a need to adopt a skill development program in the institute to improve the productivity and efficiency of the system, to improve the productivity and efficiency of the students, to make them first level of engineers when they go for industry internship. The program that we developed, we called it as in-house internship, which was for the students of first year and second year in the institute with the association with the industry, with 2 major objectives, that is provide engineering practicing skills to the students and also provide a platform where students could identify the diversity for their professional placement. The benefits seen through this program were, it will build the confidence in the students, it will build a strong resume of the students, the students will learn to simplify work and people skill, students will get projects and product development experience and also enhance their domain knowledge. We used a systematic approach for the design and deployment of our project. The first stage, that is in the planning stage, we identified the theme, that is the theme from all the departments across the institute was identified so that we could give a diverse platform to the students as per their interest. They could register and learn the skills. Second was identifying an industry association for the various themes identified, mentor identification, internal as well as external industry faculty or the alumni, syllabus design, content development and the verification by the industry experts, and resource identification. In the do, first we did an orientation of the students and about the various tracks that we were offering, and then took the registration from the students. The students were allowed to do the registration inter-department. They were not restricted to register for the tracks offered by their department only. Then there was a requirement gathering as per the registration received, and finally the conduct of the session as per the schedule. In the check, we had first a preparedness check before the conduct of the in-house internship. During the program, we had a continuous attendance monitoring, the progress check of the students, and evaluation, daily evaluation of the students, and finally we had external evaluators and an exhibition of all the projects that the students have developed and collecting the feedback from the external experts as well as from the students. Based on evaluation and the feedback, an impact study was developed. Strategies for the next batch were designed and improvements required were also identified and incorporated in the next conduct. We started with a pilot project in December 2017 after receiving a corporate feedback with just 1 track and 2 faculty conducting it. Today we have more than 18 tracks, 60 faculty working for the students during this internships. In this, we The students are now working on various problems by the industry. They are working on the social problems, as well as the students are also acquiring the certification by the third party about the skills being acquired during the internship. Last year, because of pandemic, the mode of conduct, which was in an offline mode, was shifted to an online mode, and we found that this has actually proved to be a boon, where we had an infrastructure limitations to accommodate all students at one time for this in-house internship, but now overcome by an online platform where the number of students that could be accommodated in this online mode increased. Students could actually work on various problems that were related to the real time, like designing of sanitization machine, designing of the COVID helpline, digital marketing for the products of rural area, which these are the certificates that the students have acquired as a process of in-house internship, starting with the first sample which we had given during the pilot project where there was no association, and which has improved to a format where we had an industry association for conducting the internship. Students acquiring certifications for the skills that they were learning and certificates from the NGOs. These all help them to enhance their resume and as well as the skills. This is the glimpses of the conduct in the offline and the online mode. The learning has not stopped in an online mode, but in fact enhanced, and we have strengthened in the online mode. To make the program sustainable and encourage more and more students to participate, under autonomy, we adopted in-house intern as a part of curriculum, where 120 hours and 3 credits were given for the first year curriculum, and 160 hours and 4 credits were assigned for the second year. And to encourage the faculty to participate and conduct this enthusiastically, the hours that they were spending as a part of in-house internship training were considered as a part of the faculty load. We have also made a budget provision for a conduct of in-house internship in the department budget, so that we can include more and more industry experts and give an exposure about acts and the real problems and solution development as per industry requirement. These are some of the samples of how the evaluations are done and the feedback collected to measure the knowledge, skills and attitude of the student by the faculty and by the set. The findings show that the number of problem statements have increased over the years, number of students participation, number of mentors and industry association has increased over the years, and we have been able to meet our target. The corporate feedback has improved qualitatively as well as quantitatively, which shows that they feel that the knowledge, skills and attitude of the students have improved or is improving every year. The number of students completing an internship has also increased. Because of this, the impact that we see on a professional placement, that is the placement into the companies and the students going for higher study, it has increased. Number of domains for which the students are going for higher studies or taking the campus placement is increasing as per the tracks that we have introduced in the in-house internship. The monitoring of an activity is done by team leader and the department coordinator for the plan stage, by the department coordinator and faculty mentors and the do stage, department coordinator and faculty mentors in the check state of evaluation and feedback collection. Finally, the target achievement is done by principal and the team leader. Feedback and objective attainment analysis study is done by the principal and the team leader. Sustainability of the program is the responsibility of the principal and the team leader. So we can justify that this program has been able to achieve the set targets for it as the corporate feedback is improving. Student performance in the professional world is increasing. System is growing continuously. There is more participation of the students, and students are also acquiring certification as a part of this process. Intangible benefits are the students are able to evaluate their career choices and have a good idea of what they like to do. They are getting engaged into social activities and working for the societies. Faculties are also enhancing their knowledge by being a part of this in-house internship. The benchmarking of the process is done as per the guidelines of AICT Skill Development Program. We have an NBA. The extension of the scope is that we have with the NGOs, we have invited our partner institutes of student exchange programs to be a part of it, and the students are collaboratively working and developing the projects and also doing paper presentation. So we can conclude that this practice could help the students to identify the problem, develop the solution, relate the theory with the practical application, become the first level professional, work in a team, and also become employable with respect to enhancing their knowledge, skills, and attitude. These are the glimpses of all the internships that we conducted in an online mode. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful Industry Academia initiative. Great work. We now move on to Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur. We have with us Jacinta George, Quality Coordinator, and Ishan Nandan Roy, Teacher. Can we have them here, please?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Natasha, can they be in spotlight? Hello. Yeah. Hi, Jacinta. How are you? Sorry. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
So Ishan Nandan Roy is
Yes,
joining us?
Yes, just
Yeah, yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we will now move on to the presentation. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Ishan and I'm representing Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur. Our dream team comprises of top management, teachers and students. We would like to introduce you to PALS. PALS is an acronym for Peer Assisted Learning Support. We started our project in 2019 when we realized students needed better educational support. During the previous year, students faced a learning challenge which neither they nor their parents could even predict. To overcome this stressful situation and to motivate our students, we initiated this approach to assist students to keep in touch with each other, collaborate, communicate, and boost moral support. The peer learning style provided an opportunity for students to openly share thoughts and emotions about their learning. This would help to reduce stress and develop resilience. Students could rapidly adapt to technology-based learning more effectively through peer support. The feeling of staying connected with one's peers during the online sessions significantly helps students to manage anxiety during lockdown. We will be following the criteria given to explain our best practice. We developed PALS. We realized that students were finding it difficult to cope in class due to various reasons. They were unable to understand certain concepts taught, were shy to ask questions, lacked skills to solve problems on their own, had different learning styles, were only interested in their own learning, and lastly, teachers were overloaded with work and lacked spare time. We brainstormed further to understand our students' needs better. We identified that students wanted someone to teach them in a simpler manner where they could better understand. Furthermore, they wanted to compete when they were on the same level academically, to evaluate how much and how well they had learned, to be involved in their own learning, to find a sense of purpose, and to improve communication among peers. We discovered the potential of initiating PALS and realized that students learn from people they genuinely like. Sometimes it's an adult, but oftentimes it's their peers. Hence, there was a need for peers to assist, lead, and support each other. Our approach to PALS was simple. Cooperative learning is a strategy where small teams of 2 to 3 with different levels of ability help each other to improve their understanding of a subject. The writers group would help each other by offering advice, giving information, and to provide constructive criticism to help enhance their peer writing skills. Learning communities provide a space for students to align around a shared goal. These communities enable peers to share results and learn from each other, thereby improving their ability to achieve rapid yet significant progress. Students choose a skill they have mastered, such as identifying perpendicular lines or dividing fractions, and design a short lesson. The students then review the lesson with the teacher to get approval before recording it. These videos are shared as a learning resource, making it easy for students to access and watch lessons made by their classmates at any time. Problem-based learning is a student-centered approach where students learn about a subject by working in groups to solve open-ended problems. The problem is what drives the motivation to find creative solutions.
The beast confessed to killing 140 boys between 8 and 16 years old over a 7-year period in Colombia and neighboring countries. He is suspected of murdering 300 victims.
The pandemic and subsequent lockdown forced us to make a complete shift in our learning. Thankfully, with our teachers' guidance, we transitioned to virtual classes, for example, pre-recorded lessons, Zoom, and Google Classroom. To monitor our best practice, we included certain measures. We set guidelines and took feedback from students on their peer teaching. All this was done to ensure that this practice was beneficial to students and not pointless. We started monitoring our best practice and realized that our learning goals had been achieved more effectively. Student involvement to learn and share their understanding doubled. There was more cooperation and teamwork, and students took responsibility for their learning as well as for their peers. The data reveals that peer discussion helps students to learn better by prompting them to create new paths to acquiring knowledge. The discussions with peers was a process gain, in which working in a group yielded better performance. Due to improved scores, students were confident and attendance rates increased as they felt more enthusiastic to log into their classes. Our best practice achieved a silver award during the best practice competitions held among all schools under the Global Schools Foundation. The difference pre-PALS and post-PALS was quite dramatic as learning became more experiential as compared to prescriptive learning. What were our results? PALS made us empowered learners, one who approached learning with confidence, curiosity, and excitement. We could now take our learning to deeper levels while developing essential skills that will prepare us for success in the 21st century. Knowledge shared among peers gave us more understanding, and this increased our power of retention. Potential for new opportunities opened to expand and deepen the boundaries of learning. Learning was done with a different ball curve that peers could understand. What makes PALS a better practice? The fact that there is improved peer-to-peer interaction, active student engagement in their learning, emphasis on practical and experiential learning, developing of higher order thinking skills, and provides a variety of learning options. Peer-assisted learning is more effective because students need to thoroughly know the subject matter in order to participate. This engagement was missing in passive learning, where learning can feel like a boring lecture. Inclusion of activity-based learning makes for a more varied and interesting experience, which boosts interest, foster group bonds, which results in better comprehension of the topic. Not everyone welcomes the chance to participate in peer-related tasks. Some students do feel that it is the teacher's job to still provide knowledge, hence the chief reason to attend classes. The teacher's role in the classroom indeed cannot be replaced or denied. However, the process of learning to a classmate's interpretation of a subject, hearing it spoken in a familiar voice and expressed in a different manner, actually enabled that information to be internalized more readily. As PALS has shown success so far, we have plans for future development. Here are some ideas in the pipeline. Detective. Everyone loves riddles, brain teasers, and a little mystery. Students can create an e-learning video, explore in-depth a case study, or engage in an interactive session. Students can be given clues to collaborate and solve this mystery, which could focus on any current problem or issue faced in the world. E-learning blogs or podcasts. Students can design an e-learning blog to share their thoughts and understanding on a certain topic. Students will need to explore the concept at length with their peers and present their findings in the form of a blog. This will also allow students to build media and communication skills and deepen their understanding. Host a lively forum debate. This can be conducted using video conferencing tools such as Zoom, Teams, or Clubhouse. Establish a micro-learning library. Give students topics related to service learning and challenge them to develop a presentation, blog post, podcast, or article on the subject. Students will need to research, explore, and discuss the topics, and their work can be compiled into a micro-learning online library accessible to other students. To be a great teacher, one must firstly be a great learner. Through this best practice, we can guarantee that anyone can enjoy the process of learning through teaching. Terima kasih, thank you. We are now open to any questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Roy, for that wonderful and insightful presentation. We will now move on to the next organization, One World International School, Singapore. We have with us Michelle Dickinson, Head of School, and also Luna Deller, Head of Academic Operations. Welcome. Welcome to
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Thank you. Hi. So we will now move on to your presentation, ma'am. Yep.
I'm Michelle Dickinson, Head of School at One World International School, and I'm honoured to present our submission on kindness at OS. Our culture of kindness at OS is driven by our mission to develop inquiring, compassionate learners who can themselves reflect on their own perspectives to encourage respect for all cultures and nurture care for our world. This is underpinned and emphasised by our OS model, which aims to develop all students through a values-driven approach to learning with a focus on collaboration, positive relationships, and self-initiated action, leading to authentic service to others. Being one with the world, with our community, with our locality, and with our world through that culture of kindness. At OS, we believe that kindness can shape students' attitudes towards their own social, emotional, and academic success, and it therefore forms an integral part of our strategic development. We actively promote, plan, and facilitate kindness across all of our stakeholders and actively model and teach the power and benefits of being kind, positive, open-minded learners and people. Kindness at OS enables our students to lead a responsible school life, making good choices for themselves, and it nurtures tolerance, equality, and harmony across our internationally diverse community. As a senior leadership team, we use kindness as an instrument for conflict resolution, to build understanding, and to nurture future global citizens and leaders who act from a place of compassionate integrity and compassionate decision making. This takes ongoing effort to make kindness visible by celebrating random acts of kindness, by promoting the language of kindness, and through our kindness houses and through our primary school kindness leaders program and our student kindness council. Our kindness council is a democratically elected student body that promotes and models the OS Secondary Six statements to success through kindness, respect, positivity, relationships, responsibility, and integrity. The Kindness Council oversees and steers all our students to achieve their goals to offer at least one service project every academic year. A service project that is for the benefit of others or focuses on driving initiatives towards the UN Sustainable Goals. At OS, we also think that it's really important to nurture kindness from our youngest students. And therefore, in our primary school, we give our young learners the opportunity to become kindness leaders. A program that teaches these young leaders how to resolve conflict on the playground and how to nurture inclusivity and diversity, leading to peaceful, purposeful, and powerful play. To bring kindness to life and to keep it at the core of our culture, every student is part of a kindness house to promote a culture and community of kindness. These kindness houses are represented by visible kindness trees, trees that in themselves represent a diverse global community. Willow House, representing the Northern Hemisphere, Acacia for Australasia, Wisteria for Asia, and Flame for the African continent. As a community of kindness, we watch our trees grow and bloom and flourish as they gather kindness student hand leaves for positive participation in healthy competition and initiatives. But kindness can never be superficial. Kindness needs to grow throughout the school life and through the curriculum to enhance academic success, to enhance social responsibility and emotional intelligence. Kindness at OS is about carefully and mindfully planning curriculum and learning engagements to meet the UN Sustainable Goals, to foster cultural heritage, and to drive international mindedness. What we have found at OS is that as kindness is practiced, students develop a positive and creative approach to their own learning, leading to many benefits. Benefits that are academic, social, emotional, and physical. Benefits that are appreciated by all of our stakeholders. Through our culture of kindness and the programs that we run, we have seen an impact on academic achievement, improved customer and parent satisfaction, increased student engagement, reduced bullying, happier staff, more authentic action in community outreach projects, and a humbling but fantastic growth in our student body. From 230 students when we opened in January 2018 to a present position of 1,400 students in just 3 years. Not only that, but more importantly, or equally as importantly, what we've witnessed is a happy and caring student community, students who exhibit high self-esteem, who make powerful and lasting friendships, who demonstrate positive mental health, and a community of learners who come to school with a genuine love of learning, helping each other, and being together. That community of togetherness has helped us to build empathy and support in a diverse but inclusive, kind community. Together, building collaboration through kind communication and team spirit. And together, building a more kind and compassionate future world. Together, One World International School has built a One World community of over 70 nationalities under the rich and powerful umbrella of kindness.
Welcome to One World International School. We are truly an international school. At present, we welcome over 65 different nationalities every day. We offer a diverse range of educators and teaching staff, and they bring with them a wealth of different experience also from their own cultures and from their previous educational experiences that they've had. Together as a community, we build a school that is underpinned with a driving value of kindness about how to be together as one world.
We teach using the primary years program, or what we call the PYP, and it's a very inquiry-led program. So that means children come in using what they already know about themselves and the world around them, and they choose to build on what they know and strengthen what they know in different ways. They could choose to show their information that they've learned or the skills they've learned through drama, through creating a role play with their friends, to creating a structure, through writing a story. We still have our traditional knowledge and skills that we impart in terms of math and grammar, but it's still all in a very inquiry-based class. At the end of the day, it's really about being an efficient communicator, being a critical thinker, and being able to reason your thinking. When the children leave us from the primary years program, they will have become excellent communicators. They will have a strong sense of identity and who they are as individual people. Also be able to work well in a team and be ready for the next step.
When we looked at planning the curriculum for secondary schools, we worked backwards. So this is where they're going to be, these are the skills that they need to have. Talking about being risk takers, balanced, think about being open-minded, international-minded. We offer 9 different IGCSEs for the students to take. 6 is the minimum which students have to take. It allows them to get a taste of the subjects which they're really interested in, start to become specialists in those subjects. What we want them to see is how do all these different subjects that they're learning about and all these different skills, how do they apply to the outside world and how can they use them in the outside world? Our real big ethos is that we're not just like an exam factory. We're not just here to create students who learn how to pass exams and then can just move on to university. We want to develop people who can contribute to the international community that we're all part of.
If you get kindness right and everyone's in a place of kindness, then students are happy. And if they're happy, then they're learning. When people visit us, they see that kindness and they see the happiness in the school.
I think that was a wonderful presentation on a much needed core value in the present times, kindness. So hats off to the organization to have presented such a beautiful concept. Thank you so much. We now move on to the last organization's presentation, Global Indian International School, Ahmedabad. We have with us Ami Betai, Academic Coordinator, and hello, Ruchika Dingra, Headmistress. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
We'll now showcase your presentation. Thank you so much.
Greetings from GIS Ahmedabad to one and all present here for this amazing event. We are proud to share our success story, decoding the victory through the pandemic. Reinventing ourselves and converting confusion into confidence was a huge task, which we successfully carried out with the support of our HO.
We needed to make a smooth and effective transition from offline in-campus delivered education to an online virtual class with no compromise in the quality of education imparted. The area of concerns were identified and solution of the same were achieved.
Correct identification of the different skill set brought to the table by our academicians was essential to use the same to the optimum. This allowed the students to study from home using a compatible device that would allow them to attend curricular and extracurricular activities seamlessly, while also incorporating the participation of a parent, a scenario never seen before. An effective mechanism was established to aid concern, suggestions from all the stakeholders, thereby resulting in a continuous improvement cycle.
One of the greatest reasons why we call it a best practice is because we were successfully able to turn the obstacles into opportunities, be it in the communication or education process or methods of delivering content, use of resources or lack of manpower.
Communication is the key to keep an organization running smoothly. With physical schools shutting down, GIS Ahmedabad used secure and effective tools of communication such as Zendex, Trango, and WhatsApp, in addition to the MyGIS portal. This enhanced collaboration among the students, parents, and teachers. Google Classrooms were used for submission of classwork, homework, assignments, and documentation of the teaching learning process. Latest augmented reality tools were used by the teachers to adapt to a new normal of teaching. The flow of information between a teacher and student remained unhindered.
This had a domino effect of sharing information not only limited to more than 100 teachers of our campus, but to other campuses of GIS in India as well. GIS Ahmedabad imparted training to breed familiarity towards online quiz software like Kahoot, Quizzes, Zoom webinars, Data Edge, and even government portal Diksha to impart the learning in the best possible manner to the students. Under the guidance of the HO, official licenses were acquired for conducting Zoom webinars, which paved the way for using the best available version of Zoom for an unobstructed virtual classroom experience. Successful efforts were made to secure digital versions of teaching material to enhance the IT skills of the teachers.
Ease of availability of training modules through TeamE ensured that the teachers could use the modules as and when any obstacle arose. Slack channels were started to further enhance collaboration within the teacher community of GIS Universe. The school kept a track of more than 74 classes by mandating the daily work performer, filled by each subject teacher after the class. With an interactive teacher observation format, GIS Ahmedabad could identify the issues of the students and what they expect from their guides, thus relying the same to the teachers. Digital copies of resource books, digital content, and even activities planned in each lesson were redesigned according to the need of an online learning method. Lesson plans were revamped to cater the changed learning platform.
GIS Ahmedabad did not shy away from preparing the students for participating in national and international competitions. Whether it was festival celebrations, PTMs, teacher recruitment or competitions, everything was done successfully on the virtual platform. Our students secured top spots in Olympiads and Spelby competitions. The school backed the winner's trophy for the Altasamu competition by GIS Abu Dhabi. In RWCC by GIS Singapore, the school won ranks in 10 out of 16 competitions. We also backed the Platinum Award for QC presentation during the GED. The school designed events and activities which emphasized on inculcating life skills in the students. Various activities were designed to teach universal values like gratitude, empathy, mental and physical well-being, care and concern for people around, and community care to the students.
Our segment-wise annual function spanned for 3 days and 10 shows, showcasing the abilities of the students. A unique talent competition called Global Little Star was successfully executed for our existing as well as prospective students. Career counseling sessions for grades 9 to 12 were held in collaboration with reputed universities from North America and UK. The strategies planned while managing online classes such as use of Google Classrooms, virtual PTMs, collaboration with parents, digitalization of essential processes like recruitment of teachers, admissions, lesson plans, virtual tours of the campus for the prospective admissions will be implemented even after the offline school continues.
It takes a village to raise a child. The activities that we plan for our students are not merely planned for them. More than 50% of such activities have active parent involvement. Along with the teachers and school management, even our top management makes it a priority to attend all major events of our school. Along with tangible results, here are some of the intangible results of our best practice. The gratitude shown by parents and students on various occasions is our pride possession. 85% of our staff is digitally empowered by the school. We also ensured smooth content delivery with 500 hours of ongoing training. Pre-COVID, only 25% of the teaching staff was equipped with the knowledge of utilizing online platforms optimally for learning. But now we are proud to claim that every teacher of GIS Ahmedabad is well versed with the use of online learning platforms for imparting knowledge. By recruiting 31 teachers in just one academic year, we proved that even a pandemic cannot stop strong-willed educational institute like GIS Ahmedabad from hiring the best teachers for providing quality education. The real measure of success of any school is based on the admissions. In year 2021, we got a record-breaking 700 admissions, while in the April of 21-22, so far we have got 350 plus admissions. Our parents and our students are the major stakeholders which are happy with the progress of GIS.
Hello, I'm Shivakshi Gupta from 10C. I've been studying in Global Indian International School, Ahmedabad from 5 years now. Last year has been difficult for all of us, the pandemic and shift to the virtual mode. GIS adopted virtual learning when I was in 9th. Our school has wisely invested in the upgraded Zoom version for a better learning. Teachers have been effectively using the online resources like OLabs, Google Classroom, Quizzes, etc. to create an environment similar to that of a physical classroom. GIS has been successful in balancing scholastic and co-scholastic activities. While scholastic classes are taken regularly, sports and yoga classes are also taken on timely basis to ensure physical and mental fitness. Dance, music, art, etc. are also conducted to encourage creativity among young minds. Teachers have been there to support us throughout these hard times. They have been there to guide us, teach us, lead us, and encourage us whenever we needed them. Thank you, teachers, and thank you, GIS Ahmedabad.
Hi, this is Pratik Modi, and my daughter Twisha is studying with GIS in grade 2. I'd like to take this opportunity and congratulate GIS for an outstanding work that they've done in last 1 year or so while we all were dealing with this global pandemic. To be specific, I'd like to call out their contribution and focus not only on studies, but at the same time helping our kids develop new skills and get new perspectives using extracurricular activities like dancing, music, art and craft, yoga, and many more. In my view, necessity is the genesis of most of the innovation. So in the last 1 year, a teacher must have gone through a lot of upskilling and at the same time adapting to this virtual environment. And that's where, to me, that's extraordinary achievement while most of the schools were struggling to even to keep the momentum on the studies. I'm a proud member of GIS family, and thank you so much for teachers and GIS for everything that you have done. Amazing work. Keep up the good work.
We believe that our success story is our best practice. We are one of the most sought after schools of the city due to our effective crisis management, passionate teachers, happy students, and satisfied parents. This is evident from 578 new admissions in this academic session itself, despite the lockdown. To conclude, every school faced the same situation we faced. However, we overcame the hurdles by turning our weaknesses into strengths and threats into opportunities. It was always a race to be better than what we were before, to redefine ourselves, to evolve, and to emerge as a better version of ourselves is the only way to succeed.
Thank you so much. A very wonderful presentation. We will now move on to the Q&A section. I request our judges to please join us. Dr. Tashrat Shetty, Dr. Alka Mitra, and Father Dr. Vincent Briganza. Please join us, and I'll call the institutions as per the sequence of presentations. So we begin with the Global Indian International School East Coast. May I request Odaira Nido and Anushri Shirali to please join us.
Hi, we're here.
Hello, we're here. Hello, hi. So I request the judges to please ask questions. And if there are any questions that are coming on the chat box, we will also highlight that. So I request the judges to take it forward. Who would like to begin?
Yeah, so
yeah,
I'll do that. Yeah. So first of all, let me compliment you on the initiative and the practice, a very relevant practice in today's times to protect the planet and nurture responsible future citizens while they are very young. Okay, so just a few questions, clarifications from you. So can you've talked about the development of the practice, you talked about the deployment, the monitoring, the results, so you followed the sequence very well. So can you talk a little more about the mechanism for monitoring the practice? So as you were deploying the practice, what specifically was your mechanism to monitor the practice and improve it at intervals so as to achieve the targeted results and the impact? Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that. Basically, what we have done were we've had a lot of competitions that were done. Okay, initially we made sure that all of our students in our campus and our parents and our teachers, we made sure that they had an opportunity to attend workshops first. Okay, because we believe that it was through information, through sessions like this, they were made aware of how to actually recycle wastes, both our wet wastes and our dry wastes. Okay, so we thought that that was one of our main problems, that we have not really had sessions like this before, and whatever that we inculcate to our students in the school itself, we have to make it, a constant practice at home as well. Okay, so we had these kinds of sessions. We made sure that all classes attend sessions. We had also did competitions for bringing in wastes, kitchen wastes, and also recyclables. Okay, in the classroom itself. So we've had that competition where we monitored how many students or how many classes have actually participated. Okay, and at the end of the entire session, the entire 3 months program that we've done, okay, we've known how many in total have we collected. Okay, and at the same time, at the moment, we are still continuing the process, although comments from parents, comments from teachers also came back, and we have good positive feedback from parents. Although
any mid-course corrections you made, any mid-course changes you made in your process because of the feedback monitoring? Any changes that,
mostly because of the climate, actually, ma'am, not because of the feedback, but because we realized that when we did our composting in the school, the area that we were doing it, there were lots of rain water coming in, so we had to air out the whole compost and make sure that it would still continue to work. So that was one of the things that we realized, that we have to have a proper area for it, and we also have to we inform students and also parents about that as well. So that was the only thing that we did. We had maintained records on a daily basis. There were pictures. There are assemblies that we had where we involved everyone, and we looked at how many the progress that we have so far.
Great, wonderful. Thank you. Over to Father Buganza.
So if I can chip in and also join Dr. Alka in complimenting you on picking up a healthy practice, which I believe is very relevant to ensuring that we catch them young to preserve our earth home. In terms of implementing the project, since I guess the students in, quote unquote, were handling garbage. So what were the safety measures that you inculcated in them? Because that would be also equally important. If we have an earth home where there is nobody to live in it, then where are we going? So kindly enlighten us on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so when we look at bringing in of our Tetra Paks, our used beverage cartons, they were also made informed as to how we properly clean the carton boxes first, before bringing it into school or before even disposing of them in any of the recycling bins that we have around Singapore. Okay, so proper washing of those materials first. And of course, when we bring in kitchen wastes as well, we made sure that they are properly wrapped or put in proper bins, proper containers, so that at least it will not contaminate any of their things as well while they bring it to school. And when we did the compost, we made sure that we wash our hands, we wear gloves. Okay, so those were some of the safety measures that we just made sure that we impart to students, so that they will be at least clean. And
just a concern, because this project was implemented during these COVID times.
It was during 2020 actually, so last year.
So if they were handling how did you make sure that they anything that was hazardous from the point of view of medical garbage or whatever, when at home, people who have disposed masks, etc., how did you alert them about that? Because that would be important.
Yes, only sessions we've informed them, okay, about it, sir. So there were sessions conducted to students and to parents as well of proper disposal.
Thank you for the. I would once again like to compliment for the good work. My question is, apart from your regular competitions for the students, what was? Did you have any other reward program so that the motivation keeps going? The motivation is high always. Yeah.
Basically, we are now working towards having like an action wall in our campus. Okay, so any little things like students who are already growing their own herbs in their own homes, we take a picture of them and then we make sure that it is actually been celebrated around the school. Okay, so that was what came out of all of this, because at the end of the day, only few classes would receive awards for bringing in. But yes, this is something that we are going to be working towards in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So now we move on to, thank you, ma'am. We now move on to Global Indian International School, Whitefield, requesting Subdeep Kaur and Preeta Di Mello to please join us. Yeah. Okay, over to you, judges. Yeah.
Hello, Preeta and
Hello, ma'am.
Steve. Yeah. A great presentation, and again, a very relevant topic and practice chosen by you, especially in the times of the pandemic. So compliments to both of you and the entire team, of course, who's worked.
Thank you, ma'am.
While we know, what has been very, appropriately talked about is the flip side of social media. My little clarification from you is, are there any benefits of social media? Or is there only a flip side? And is there a way that one can think of balancing the two to derive maximum value for the students? And did you think about it? Yeah, go on.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for asking this question, ma'am. So we have taken up this project, the flip side, dark side of social media, especially in pandemic. Through this project, we are definitely not thinking about completely eliminating social media from our, life. So we are here. We are here trying to mitigate. We are trying to, alleviate the issues, the negative impact, but at the same time, we are also, emphasizing to use it in a positive way. So there are positive ways also where children and students and younger generation, even adults, they can also use media in a positive way. So let's very recently, when we are conducting this project, in our school, we have seen many of our students, around, you can say 42% of our students, they have taken up, positive things. In terms of learning coding, in terms of learning music, in terms of learning, new things. So through this project, we are emphasizing on the positive aspect. We are eliminating and alleviating the negative impacts, like for the time management, for using it in a positive way. So that is our main idea behind this project.
Sure. Thank you. Over to Father Guggensen.
I will put two questions to you. So the first one and then the second one after you address the first. The first is related to what Dr. Alka raised. So one of the positive dimensions of social media would be, the capacity for advocacy. And so were you able to use this aspect in terms of enculturating the students, because you've highlighted very well that there is this attraction towards this dark side for whatever reason.
Right.
So in order to veer them round to the bright side, advocacy would be one very energetic way of doing it. Were you able to do something in those lines?
Yes, sir. So to address this question, we have been conducting various webinar sessions, various awareness sessions with the parents, with the stakeholders, and with our students. So time to time webinar sessions are helping us to advocate the positive side of the social media, how to use the gadgets, how to use them in a positive way, how to use them in a judicious way, how to use them in a proper way. So we have given many solutions to the parents, like how to use these digital media in a way. One solution we have recently given: use password protected apps, trying to use apps in a minimum way, or removing those apps which are not required from their children gadgets, because these days, definitely due to pandemic, we are more exposed to the gadgets and our kids are more exposed to the gadgets. So what we have done, we have given them ways and means to reduce the usage of gadgets. And by this way, by doing this, we have definitely received a very positive feedback from the parents. 78% of our parents are very happy about this initiative, and they have seen a positive change in terms of behavior as well as their academic results of the students.
Okay,
And
that is fine for me in terms of addressing that issue. The second point has to do with the results that you have shown. They are good results, impressive results. You've got about 400 students in this program. That's what your presentation says.
Right.
So how confident are you of the long-lasting effects, the sustainability of the process and impact of the process that you've begun?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thank you very much for asking this question. Sir, when we have launched this project last year, we had a small group of students. And as we progressed through the last year, we had been joined by 400 students. So I'm very happy to share here around 1,000 students from secondary and senior secondary have joined this project this year. So, because of seeing the positive results in academics as well as in the behavior, and we have also extended this project to our, sister concerns and other GIS campuses, as well as through our students, we are reaching out to the parents. Through parents, we are reaching out to their family members, other relatives, and through that, we are also reaching out to the society. And addressing your question, sir, we are following PDC. CA cycle here. We are planning the strategies, deploying those strategies, checking those strategies, and acting on them. Now, if our strategies are not working out, we definitely change our strategy. So, and with the regular reinforcement and with the regular awareness sessions, we are trying to keep this project sustainable in future as well.
That's it.
Father spoke about sustainability. I have a question as a parent. Parents' participation is very vital in this program.
Excuse me, sir, your voice is not clear.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. What I feel is, since Father spoke about sustainability, I think parents' participation in this program is very important, because my son does what I do. So how they have educated the parents to participate in this program? Like, have they brought in their screen time down or something like that?
Some disturbance. Can you repeat the question, please?
Parents' participation in this program, I think, is very vital, because the young kids imitate parents. Absolutely. So what sort of programs did you have for the parents so that they reduce their screen time and inspire their students?
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking this question, sir. Very recently, on 18th of June, we had a webinar session by our expertise, Professor Gaurav Raval. So such expertise we are bringing in, time to time. Very frequently, such sessions are being held with the parents. As I mentioned, we are giving tips and tricks to the parents, to how to reduce the usage of, media in their life as well as in their kids' lives. It is not only about children. First, we have to bring in change in adults. So we are giving them tips and tricks how to use the media, in their life as well as in their kids' life. So
I want to add something here. Last year, there was a film called The Social Dilemma, which released. It was a documentary which was created by people who had made these social media platforms and how children are given push notifications and they fall prey to propaganda, they fall prey to advertisements. So the best thing we did was we reached out to the parents and we said, watch this film together with your child. So both the child and parent became aware of the dark side of social media and how it can lead them astray. Yes, Sukhdeep, continue.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So we have been using various ways and means. It is not only through webinar sessions or awareness programs. We are devising many activities where kids are involved, parents are involved, to teach their peers in the school. So even we are inviting parents. So, to share their experiences with the other, stakeholders of the school. So in this way, we have tried to inculcate, this reduce or you can say judicious use of media in our lives.
And one more point, sir. We have a very powerful tool in our school called Child's Assessment by Parents. It's a very unique form which goes out to the parents every month where the child is assessed by the parent. And month on month, we get the behavior pattern of the child and we correlate this with the academic results of the child and we can see the pattern emerging from this. And so this way also we involve parents.
Yes, so to add on, with the help of this CAP tool, we are able to monitor children month after month in their behavior, their interaction with their parents at home, with the usage of media, so behavioral issues. So month after month, we are able to gather the data, correlate it, and address the issues on time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any more questions? No. Okay. So we can move on to the next institute, Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, Mumbai. I request Dr. Lochan Jolly to please join us and Megha Gupta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, over to you, judges. Yeah. Dr. Lochan is there. Yeah. Okay, great. Yes.
You're muted.
Madam, you are on mute.
Dr. Alka, you have to unmute.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Dr. Lochan and Megha. So again, I would like to appreciate your practice because the practice focuses on a very important need of this nation, that is creating corporate-ready engineers. There's a lot of gap between academics and what the corporate world needs. We put a lot of effort, both from the academics and from the corporate to bridge that gap, but this practice focuses on that, a very significant need. So I would like to appreciate it for this reason.
Thank you.
So just a clarification, wonderful presentation like everyone else's. As you've talked about how you developed the practice, deployed the practice, or all of that. So a question to you is, how did you exactly benchmark the practice and improve it during the deployment to achieve the targeted results?
Yeah. So to start with, initially we had a very crude method of knowing what the student basically with the technical skills that he was, but through the projects. But in 2017, we started this. In 2018, AICT gave a form which had the part of knowledge, skills, and attitude. We even had a program called Infosys Campus Connect, which was, I would say, on a similar line, where the Infosys was training our faculties and our faculties were training the students so that the period of training by the Infosys could be reduced when the students are going there. So that was at a very basic level. They had given us a benchmark for the scores that the student should be scoring, should be minimum 60%. We kept it at 75%, keeping that because the evaluation that we'll be doing will be with respect to a faculty and the knowledge. And when we go for the industry environment, they are expected to perform maybe with respect to the case studies, particular to that may be missed with the, therefore the benchmarking was kept on that value. And the other thing that we have used, one was the Infosys Campus Connect, that was a motivation. Second was the AICT Skill Development Program. And third, we also, because we also identified—
What exactly did you pick up from the AICT program?
So, madam, they have the forms with respect to how the student should be evaluated, how the feedback should be collected, how the report should be taken as daily reporting, the daily logs. That is every day the students, it's not that they are working, it's a theory conduct and they are evaluating. It's based on the work that they are doing. They are given a little training on the skills. They have to develop on that and demonstrate it. So daily it is a process of hours of training, working on a project, discussion on the projects and developing. So it's like, I would say over the period, daily, they are developing smaller modules, integrating it and making it into a deployable project, which is finally evaluated by the industry experts, which we call at the point on the last.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lochan. Over to Father Briganza.
So I too agree that, there is a huge lacuna in terms of taking people from the institutions to the field. And therefore, this particular healthy practice is something that definitely addresses that, also in terms of the growth of our nation. This program has been implemented from 2017 onwards. And so it now merges into this COVID kind of experience.
Yes.
To me, in terms of internship, it is the hands-on that actually gives the value to this whole endeavor. That hands-on goes out of focus when you go online. So how did you manage to still give hands-on, if that is possible, in a virtual reality?
Yes. Coming to this, sir, I agree with you. We have two types of students I would categorize. One, mostly I would say 85% or 90% students have a laptop or a setup, PC at their home, where they could work and working. We have made sure that all the internships were using a free open software. There was no cost involved, nor was any certification. Even as an institute, you know that Coursera had given a lot of certification, Google provides, and we are a member of FOSSI. So we have provided these platforms to the students for getting the certification. For those students who were not able to or were not having an access to a laptop, that is why we brought this concept of an NGO tie-up, where they had the projects like helplines through the mobiles. They had the projects of buddy program, where they were having a kind of a counseling for the student, providing a counseling. Third was talking to the people, providing a kind of, I would say, assistance in, when they were applying for certain, our students. One of the project was the 12th class student wanted to apply. So providing that assistance on taking the admission, processing, following. So that was how the students who had the mobiles were also engaged into internship through the social platform and working on them. They could even make the videos. That is what I want to stress on Zoom. There's a beautiful video where the students were on Zoom platform and everyone was enacting, and that whole was recorded, and that was also as one of a educative video that they have made. They have even made some kind of presentations for the underprivileged students for teaching them in a more innovative way. So that is how these NGOs with whom we have now the tie-ups and also signed an MOU, that has helped us to engage such students using their mobiles. Majority of the students prefer to work on technical. I agree on that. These students have used this platform of helplines, helping the elders, all that they have done.
Actually,
Art of Living is one of our organization with whom we have done. Nazrat Foundation is there. We have BCAN Foundation, for which our students. Then there is animal welfare, feeding. Another problem in COVID was these street dogs were also getting no food. So they used to feed one animal and click a photo, put a video. That is what their website on Instagram, all that they have worked on.
I think Ms. Begha wanted to say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
actually, when we are talking about hands-on, so basically all our tracks which we offered during pandemic also, they were doing simulations, And as soon as we will be coming back to the normal mode, we will be actually coming up to the hardware part.
Two other little questions.
Yes.
You mentioned in your video that the staff has been allowed to put this as part of their load.
Yeah.
Okay. Has there been any staff that is so convinced about this whole thing that they say, I will do it just because I believe in this, in terms of the positive effect of this healthy practice?
So as a positive effect, I would say that many of our staff have actually done a capacity building on their own by doing the courses. As I told about budget, it was for conducting also, as well as there is a separate budget for faculty enhancement. The faculties, those who are doing the courses and certification, that reimbursement is done. That is one part. They are enhancing their profession. As well as when you give it as a part of the load, the resistance is not, we have experienced, we have enthusiastically seen the participation of the faculty. Because
so that I agree with.
we have a course, we call it as HSD is an added parameter. So that HSD is a part of the load.
Yeah. Another relevant question that I have is, you've given it some credits, and I think that is well done. So from what I see, it's about 7 credits totally in the 2 years. So based on your experience, do you feel, the weightage is too little, too much, course correction in that sense?
So here again, I would say that this is as per the AICT guidelines, which
okay,
they
so you
say
can't.
that.
Okay, that settles it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no questions from my side. Good work.
Okay. So thank you so much, ma'am. We now move on to Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur. We request Jacinta George and Ishan Nandan Roy to please join us.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good
Hello.
evening.
Yeah.
Hello, Ishan. Yeah.
I request
Jacinta.
the judges to take it forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, Ishan.
Hi,
Again,
ma'am.
and hello, Jacinta.
Hello.
Yeah. So let me compliment you on the presentation and the concept. I think the concept or the practice is unique in the sense that there is a lot of potential in peer learning. Learning happens, traditionally we know, from books, from teachers, libraries, and of course there are a lot of online sources, but certainly peer learning has a lot of power which is yet to be unlocked, and your practice focuses on that. So compliments for choosing this practice. But yeah, so my clarification, I would put it rather than a question, is around, so as you very clearly mentioned about how you developed the practice, how you deployed it. So my question is around the measurement of the effectiveness. So there are certain results which are achieved by learning through teachers, other sources. What are those specific parameters that you expected a change in, or you were measuring to determine the effectiveness of this practice? And how did you improve it there? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, great question, ma'am. So one barometer that, of course, the common method that we use is a survey. So it's that's normally the most immediate method, or that we actually can collect data and therefore determine the engagement. I think that's the learning one is one aspect of it, but it's really the engagement, like how involved and how committed they were in part of that learning process. And so with peer learning, we realized that students, they try to implement more activities, let's say something to initiate the students to sort of, to pique their interest in the topic. And by choosing a topic of their own, which interests them, of course, which is related to a specific topic which is assigned or prescribed in their syllabus, But by adopting that topic and really delving into it, and really not only presenting it, not only teaching it to the classroom, but also using that time and that space to really generate critical thinking skills. For example, questioning each other, and questioning people's beliefs or understandings on a certain topic. So I think there was one, the one clip that we showed you was something to do with serial killers, right? So this is related to a historical topic which they were learning. I think it was about Jack the Ripper. So this combines, or this blends their interest in both history and also criminology and sociology, because there are people like this in society. There's a dark side to humanity and to human behavior as well, which is of course terrifying, but it really piques the interest of the student, because this is something, and of course, so that pull factor is there, and I believe that with peer-assisted learning, it develops that pull factor. It really pulls them into their learning and they become really more engaged. So how we measure that is basically just if they can provide a summary of what they've learned, if they can summarize, if they can conceptualize it, even if they, at different levels of, the student might be either, a bit more of a slow learner, but if they can conceptualize it, if they can conceptualize it in their own words, right? So, okay, so this is what I learned, or this is what I understood, right? And they clarify that again with their peers, and their peers just help to kind of fill in the gaps, like little puzzle pieces. Just I think this is what you're trying to say. I think this is what you're trying to. I think this is what you mean. So that I believe that assistance that they get, and that ability to really conceptualize it in their own way, in their own understanding. So that is what we were trying to measure, how they were able to really conceptualize and engage with the content that was being presented or taught to them by their peers. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Father Briganza.
I am a teacher myself, and so in terms of my own experience in education, I certainly give value to this kind of practice. It is an important dimension of educational pedagogy, and so kudos to you for implementing it and taking it all the way. Some concerns, because especially in with respect to how you've kind of spoken about it. For instance, you've talked about peer tutoring, and for me that raises a flag, because in India here we have this tuition system which has totally demolished our regular system, and so a concern that I want to see how you address is, how do you make sure that this tutoring does not demolish the regular teaching of the poor, hardworking teacher?
Yeah, no, it's a similar situation we find here in Malaysia as well. Most students opt, and most parents actually opt to supplement, or even maybe not partially supplement, but sometimes fully supplement their learning via tuitions and tutors and things like that. So with regards to this peer tutoring, it's done in a more of a controlled environment, with the sense that there is time allocated. We have Zoom, for example, with breakout rooms. So that tool, that ability, that little tool that we have in order for us, for teachers to design those breakout rooms and facilitate those very focused sort of peer-to-peer tutoring or discussion. So that is really useful as a tool. It's simple. I mean, Zoom is great. In fact, I mean, this is how we're running this whole competition right now. But it's such an effective tool for us to be able to, for the teachers to still be able to monitor and to be able to play a present role in that whole process as well, and also to ensure that there is a process or procedure that needs to be followed. So generally the process is that, okay, this is the task, this is the challenge, this is the problem. You're given this much time to solve it. right? Create either a PowerPoint, or you could do any kind of now there's so many tools. Prezi as another tool as well. So any kind of presentation software that you can use to either find solutions to a problem, or to present your thinking about a certain situation or an issue. So
let me shift gears in terms of the impact factors and where the various stakeholders are concerned. So one stakeholder is the teacher, the class teacher herself or himself.
That's
and so do you have any data in terms of, in view of this particular practice, how is the attention span of the students in the teacher's classroom? Does it affect it, saying, anyway, I'm going to be taught by my peer, so let me go to sleep?
Right.
So do you have any data in terms of studying the impact of this practice?
Well, I suppose in terms of what the teachers' feedback from the sessions are, it generally sometimes it works well. Sometimes, of course, there are a few kinks that need to be sorted out. There are it is not as seamless as we conceptualize it to be. But there is, through that trial and error process, I think we've been able to generate data. I think my colleague Jacinta would be able to fill in that for us.
I mean, basically, as I agree that, that children do get dependent. But then since this program is run for grade 6, 7, and 8 for the last 2 years and last whole year, and it is a totally an idea generated by the kids, and the conditions and the guidelines were given very clearly that, they have to come in for classes, they have to ensure their homework is done. Even the chat room that they have, a teacher is there present. So a full monitoring process is placed to ensure that they do not let go of the regular classes and be dependent on this. So far, there are 1 or 2 kids who do slip through the cracks. But yes, most of the time, the kids feel that this is an added advantage to whatever they're learning in classes. So we haven't faced that much of a problem where they're missing out on the regular classes. And neither are the teachers getting laid back.
Dr. Dashrath.
It was a nice presentation. My question is, the whole success of your program depends on the composition of the teams, in the sense, how do you choose the composition of the team? Like, who will be, mentoring and who will be the participants? Does the person who will be teaching or tutoring, will he volunteer himself, or you choose him, or how is the process? And once he starts that, how is he rewarded if he does something like that? Yeah.
Okay. So in the beginning, yes, it was the, the higher achievers who were volunteering. And as the program progressed, and during the whole of last year and current year, we are in total lockdown. So literally they haven't seen each other. So this became a very big thing, an incentive for the underperformers also to volunteer. Teachers were encouraging the average students also to come up with, they don't have to face-to-face teach. They were told to just record lessons of any topic that they feel comfortable with, and they want to share it. So this added on that, even there was nothing that the teachers chose them. It was a totally volunteer basis. At current, out of the 100 students, almost 100 students who are in this program, I would say about 80% of the students are helping each other. It's the 20% we are still working on them, and we are hoping that students to be ready to learn from each other. Then we will expand it to the other classes so that, more students are ready to, as a whole school, collective school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can move on now. I request One World International School, Singapore, Michelle Dickinson and Luna Deller to please join us. Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Over to you, judges. Yeah. I think you're on mute, ma'am. Huh?
Yes. Hello, Luna and Michelle. Great to have you with us. So let me begin by complimenting you for the practice, a very powerful and a relevant practice in today's times. There's a great need to create a world in which everyone cares for others and learns to share. That's the only way that humankind can work together and grow together. So wonderful practice that you've chosen to inculcate in the students rightly when they are young, nurturing those young minds to adopt these values. Wonderful. So my question to you, or rather just a clarification. So I saw a mention that this practice is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I presume you're referring to the Millennium Goals, MDGs, 2030. So can you talk a little more about which goal you have aligned with? Have you adopted that goal? Because United Nations has approached all institutions, all citizens to adopt these goals. And are you measuring your progress as to how well you are achieving or contributing to the goal for the school, for the nation, and for the world? Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Shall I answer that, Michelle? What the UN Sustainable Goals give us, all organisations, schools and other organisations, is really an impetus to do better things and a framework with which we can work. So when we look at our planning, our long-term planning and our short-term planning, and recently we've been, as a senior leadership team, we've been looking at our strategic planning. When we look at that, we look at it through the lens of how we can support the sustainable goals. So there isn't one individual goal that we're trying to help to achieve.
Oh, yes.
As all of us, really, we're taking joint responsibility with all schools and other organisations and individuals to try our very best to help to support all 17 sustainable goals.
Yes.
So whenever there's anything that we can see within the school that could help, whether that be on a smaller curricular level. So for example, we are giving part of our school garden to an organic growth project. Or whether it be through the lens of kindness, in that we are trying to encourage our young people to develop those skills that allow them themselves to work towards these goals on a more general level. All of the goals are being looked at in lots of different ways from a planning stage and through our teaching as well.
So all 17 is what you're looking at. That's what you're saying. Okay. 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 So where is there how is kindness embedded in this process? Because you said, yeah, go on.
Through the sustainable goals, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's a really difficult thing to kind of draw down onto one individual thing, but it is very, very broadly distributed across everything that we are trying to do. So, for example, and to be honest, our curriculum model really helps to support that. So in the primary years, as I know some of the other schools here, we use the PYP, which is an inquiry-driven program. And that allows students to look at concepts. And so we can look at, for example, the no poverty sustainable goal through the inquiry program with very, very young children, and then grow that as they get older, so that by the time they get to leave us at 16, 17 and 18, they have a really, really deep understanding of their own personal responsibility towards helping to achieve that goal. But as I said, we do it with all of the sustainable goals as far as possible and as meaningfully as possible.
I get it. Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Luna.
Thank you.
Over to Father Briganza.
Let me start by saying a very heartwarming initiative, and I join Maya as well as Dr. Alka in kind of highlighting what it can be for a future world. it augurs well for our current world that is so divided, and that we will achieve unity through this important aspect of our lives. If I were to kind of look at it in terms of critiquing an initiative of this kind, kindness as an emotion would be more individuated. It is an individual emotion. And how do you envisage your journey from that aspect of an individual being kind to a culture of an institution that is kindness itself? Because that, I believe, would enlarge the impact factor.
I think what we really talk about at OS with all of our students is that kindness is an active participation. Okay, kindness isn't passive and it isn't just a feeling. It is actually a decision to be kind to other people, to make kind decisions. And I think we're very active in how we promote kindness and nurture kindness as a staff, how we model being kind, how we model using kind language and what kind words are and what it sounds like, and what does kindness feel like, and how do I know, young children, how do I know when I'm being kind and how do I know when I'm not being kind? All of those things have to be nurtured, and not just with the students, but we do a lot of work with our staff in terms of building that full culture of kindness. So we do a lot of work with our staff about our whole staff handbook is based in kindness and respectful communication with each other and respectful communication to students. Understanding that young children come very often from a place of being dysregulated, and as adults it's our position to make sure that we stay regulated with our language, with our actions. And also I think it goes all the way through to our senior leadership. What we're really trying to do is to kind of inculcate and promote and model what kind decision making looks like as well, right from the top. So senior leadership being kind to its staff, and also to promoting kindness across all of our stakeholders. So maintaining kind communication with our parents, and also expecting kind communication from our parents as well towards our teachers. So I think, you know, when you work across all the stakeholders, you work at the level of the students, depending on what age they're at in their own understanding of what kindness is. We work with all the staff and we relaunch this idea of a culture of kindness every year. And what does that really look like if we're working together collaboratively, communicating properly, and also with our parents. And so we do a lot of parent orientation about the values of the school and how all of those values point to one place of trying to nurture a culture of kindness amongst everybody. And that reaches out wider than our actual school community. What we try to do is then allow our students and our parents to understand that this kindness doesn't stay within our school community, but we also have a responsibility to broaden that and be responsible for our local community and also responsible for our world. So we kind of build in concentric circles going out so that young children, very young children, focus on themselves. And then as they get older, they can actually take that out to a more global perspective. If
I can interrupt you with the kind of practical question to see, you know, where the challenge is. So for instance, one of the schools mentioned bullying as one of the difficulties that students talk about. How do you inculcate a value of kindness in such kind of conflict management?
So we have various leadership programs that we run across the school depending on students' age. So for example, in our primary school, we start our students off to be kindness leaders, and they apply to become a kindness leader, and we train them in conflict resolution. And we train them about being on the playground, so they're released to go to younger students' playtimes. And they, promote inclusivity on the playground. They do collaborative games. They make sure that if there's a new child who joins us, they're the ones that go over and say, let me introduce you to people, let me help you to make friends. And then as we go up through the school,
those kindness leader positions become more embedded and more important. So our secondary students are part of our kindness council. They're elected to that, so they have to put themselves forward and advocate for themselves and to say why they think they can, you know, promote kindness and lead kindness. And that goes all the way through our 18-year-olds. And so our secondary students are very much promoting service projects. So we want all of our students to take an active part in a service project every year to initiate kindness or draw attention to kindness or charitable acts or community outreach programs. So
let me ask Dr. Dashrath to come in because we need to manage this.
Okay.
Yeah, I compliment for your good work, and I have no further questions. I think Father has asked all my questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We now move
And all
on
the
to
best.
Global Indian International School, Ahmedabad. Request Ami Betai and Ruchika Dingra to please join us.
Yes.
Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good
Over
afternoon.
to you, judges.
Yes.
Welcome, ma'am.
I think Alka ma'am is logged off. I mean, I'll just check.
Some issue. Father, you can take it on. So that
Yeah, sure. So from what I understand, this has been essentially a kind of intervention to overcome the limitations that COVID has brought in. So therefore, one of my kind of main questions would be, you have got on to online teaching and making it as effective as possible. Have I got the gist of the practice?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That is, I would say, part of it. We would like to add up here
Sure.
that it is not only online teaching and learning, it is overhauling of how the educational institute works. So
Right.
it is not only teaching and learning, but the recruitment of teachers and student enrollments and everything in between.
Fine. So
Events and parent involvements, which I would like to add, which is very much highlighted during the year, a lot of collaboration with the parents. So that was also a part of this process, this journey.
So one of the concerns, that's where I'd like to learn from you how you address this. In the educational package, it is not only this, the head, but it is also this. So in this online system, what do you have to deal with this? This part I samjhao. This part I need to understand.
Sir, I would just like to add that we had started a heartfulness program, which was very essential in this time. And we have a team who's who has trained the teachers, and they're also conducting sessions for grades 10 and 12. And we had a very successful program, and we'll be continuing this program. So every day during our home period, teachers are conducting meditation sessions, because that's a need of an hour during this time. And we also conducted several webinars for the well-being of parents and students during the year. So this has helped us. It is the point where it is touching the heart, the other qualities and the other requirements which was there during this pandemic. We are together. The school is standing with you, with students, with parents, with teachers. A lot of activities we have done for staff as well. So that, we did prayer meets and all, so that things are not only for studies, but we are there standing with you during your need time.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So I would also like to add that, when the timetable comes in any student's mind, they don't only look for the curriculum, like, today's math period and then SST and then science. They also look forward for the co-curriculars and co-scholastics. So our timetable also includes all these. We have art and craft, we have PE, we have yoga, we have a dance period, we have music period, we have incorporated a lot of CCA like clubs for the students weekly. They have ample of opportunities to connect with the teachers, connect with their hobbies and their, as you said, their heart and their not mind, but their heart is also attached to, be associated with the school, because they are learning a lot of things besides curriculum.
So just one related question. Were you all able to get any data? Because data is important in this system for, how we learn. on the impact where character formation is concerned versus learning. Learning, I think I've seen enough data to say that learning is improved. But do you have anything to show that character gets a basic positive impetus in this system?
So, sir, we had conducted happiness survey for grades 1 to 12 students, and it is into process. We had a form in which children had different parameters on which different questions, and that is the form. And again, we had a survey for heartfulness also. That what is very important, what brings happiness in you, what is your happiness index at this time. So certain surveys are conducted so that we know that where our children are after putting the different modes for them and what is their happiness index throughout the session.
Thank you so much. I think Dr. Alka or Dr. Dashrath can.
Yeah, sorry, I got logged out. Hello, Amin, and
welcome back.
Ruchika. Yeah, technology is certainly a great facilitator, but at times, yeah, there can be a small interruption. Yeah, but we are back. Yeah. Okay. So, Wanda, compliments for the practice chosen. Needless to say that it's it's very relevant in these times. And the important thing is to, of course, as you've also elaborated during your presentation, to make sure that the learning is still meaningful even after switching to the online mode. And not just learning, the focus, as I say, is not just on learning, but continued focus on overall development of the students, because we don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on. So the development and learning cannot be compromised, for the students. They are our future citizens. They are the future of this country. Yeah. So, while you've talked about everything, and of course, some of the questions clarifications I had have already been asked by Dr. Briganza, and I've got the answer. Only one small clarification. So what are the mechanisms you use to monitor and improve the practice during your journey?
Yeah, I would like to answer this question now. We have already had this whenever we planned this entire online session, as we said that, it is not only teaching learning process, it is overhauling of the entire school, how the school works, and monitoring is a very, very, very crucial part. Be it monitoring the teachers or monitoring the students or monitoring the parents or other admin staff. So to keep our teaching learning process in check, we already have mentioned some of the measures in our presentation, but I would like to elaborate a little bit on that. We have a teacher observation format. So the coordinators, the vice principal and principal keep on going to these Zoom classes as and when they are being conducted live. And there are a lot of questionnaire that we fill, which is designed by our HO as well as some of the inputs from our campus. So we fill this teacher observation form and we give the feedback to the teachers after this session. So if there are some things to twitch, something to improve, they can learn, or something to complement, we can complement them as well. Same goes for the students. When there are assessments, the assessment is also done when the teachers are assessing them, that is fine. But when the coordinators or anybody from the management finds it out that some child is lagging behind, some student requires more support or feedback, then we
in
also
a class of 20, 10 may learn very well through the online, those who are self-driven, but some may be dissing. So how does one take care of that? Because since I'm a teacher myself, so I face the challenge, and I thought I'm sure you would have focused on that.
Yes,
it would be an interesting learning from you. Yeah. Wow.
Yes. So for every child, we have SIP, Student Improvement Plan. for every individual child. The class teacher creates a kind of folder in which every subject teacher gives their inputs, and before and after the assessment, the teacher, every subject teacher puts their feedback. It is a collaborative Google sheet where, like, you know, all the subject teachers are collaborating with the class teacher, and that is discussed in every PTM with the parent, along with their child's result, their, like, you know, analysis, their anecdotal reports, everything is discussed with the parent. So parents are always at par with us, and this ensures that, you know, students are our students, not only parents or not only school students, and we monitor their progress together.
Great.
Their individual subject related targets. Yeah, their individual subject related targets are also mentioned by the subject teachers, which is shared to the parents before the examination, before the, like, you know, suppose I have periodic test 1 and I'm discussing the result, then for the next assessment, individual subjects targets are also mentioned by the subject teachers, and that is also discussed by the class teacher, that this is where we want to see your child in the next assessment. And after the next assessment, they again revisit where they are standing and where they need to lead to.
Wonderful. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Shetty.
And the title of your best practice is Decoding Victory Through the Pandemic. Okay. Now, you might have, there might be some learnings which you have, maybe recorded, which is related to this particular best practice. Now, do you think, will it hold relevant post-pandemic? Hopefully we get into that phase, but do you think these learnings would be implementable post-pandemic?
I really, really appreciate this question. I was looking forward to this question. Thank you so much for asking it, first of all. Yes, we can not replace the traditional learning with online learning, but we can always learn from what we have done throughout this 1.5 years, and we can implement it in our day-to-day offline learning. So what are the great things that we have achieved using this online platform? We can integrate it in our offline learning. I can give certain examples like our PTMs. They have been super successful. Parents who are living abroad, parents who are working, they don't have to take their day offs, and they, both of them, can attend their child's progress, and at the same time they are analyzing. Earlier, when there were traditional PTMs, so the father comes after 1 week and, listens to whatever the mother has to say, which is filtered out, and it does not happen on the day-to-day basis. Another one is performance enhancement classes that were happening in regular offline campus also, but online PEC is much more individualistic, and it is helpful, and we can take it, teachers can go home, set up a timing with the students, and they can have their performance enhancement classes. So that is one more thing that we are going to implement. Our admission process of the students, it was limited for the locals when it was offline, but now the whole world is open, because we are offering education online as well as offline, and there is no barrier of coming here physically and giving the test, and giving one-on-one interview over here. So that is one more thing. Our campus tour that we have created for our prospective parents abroad, they can also take the virtual tour of our campus and decide on their own whether this is the campus that they want to go to or not. So we are so transparent because of lots and lots of things which are available online, that we would definitely want to keep it up. We definitely want to add it in our offline teaching. Obviously, the resources that we are discovering, I would say there are ample of resources that we were not using optimally when the school was offline, because there was lots and lots of classroom teaching, and we were using, maybe we were taking them to some videos or this and that, but now it is completely integrated in our lesson plans. So now online and offline learning balance is also there. So I would say there are a lot of learnings that will take it forward, and we'll hope that the hybrid model in future will be the only way of going ahead in academics.
I would also like to add, we have hosted several webinars, And just recently for International Yoga Day, we had 1,800 attendees. So such type of webinars, and we have people who have joined from Chennai. So this is again an opportunity where we can connect with a resource person, and more number of attendees can have take the advantage. So such are the things which we would like to, continue with the same.
This academic year, we have a student who is attending GIS Ahmedabad Zoom classes sitting in Dubai. And we have adjusted the timetable in such a way that if there are any additional classes or whatever are taken, they are taken after their Dubai early morning times and all. And so this was never possible in regular traditional classrooms. So the possibilities are endless if we use the hybrid model.
Thank you. Over to Maya.
Thank you.
Okay. So any more questions? No. Can we move forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much, ma'am. I think now we move ahead with the final selection of the winners. It will be second runner-up, first runner-up, and the main trophy winners. So I request our judges to please move to the breakout room. Yeah.
Sure.
So yes, Natasha would be guiding.
Request you to please join the breakout room, the judges. Yes, ma'am. The judges have proceeded towards the breakout room.
They'll take around 15 minutes for their convergence of thoughts. We'll wait for the results. So I must compliment once again all the presenters. Some very interesting practices, and wish you all the success.
Yes, it was a very impactful session. I had to be very honest. This different practice being presented.
Yeah.
Power pack.
Yeah, of course. Being in education also, such beautiful work is getting done. Must appreciate, really. Great work. Great concepts also, I must say. Which is suitable to the corporate world too. I think we can have a poll, is what my colleague indicates. We'll do a very quick, short poll to get a feedback. Natasha, we can do that?
Yes, I'll just launch it.
Yeah. So a poll is coming to you. Please respond. It won't take more than a minute. Yeah. We were not able to play this in the session 1. There were some technical difficulties. So good, it's working now. Okay, the key takeaway session, yes, 100% response is yes, there has been. Do write to us which one of them impressed you the most. It will help the organization. Thank you so much for sending us your response. We're having a second one too, na, Natasha?
Yes, Maya, I'll just share that. 1 second.
So feedback is coming to you at the end of the day. This is just a quick input. I think the second poll indicates that the content was very strong. That's great. Great news.
Another 30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Okay, we can share the results.
Yes. The first poll already you had showcased, huh? The result.
Okay, the second.
The second one indicates that the content was very strong. So appreciation to all the presenters for a wonderful, substance packed presentations. That's really great. A lot of key takeaways from there. The first one was on key takeaways. Everybody said yes, there was some key takeaways happening. So I hope you all have been benefited by participating in this session. Thank you. Now we await for the results. The judges are discussing. So keep all our fingers crossed. A few more minutes. They will be out from the breakout rooms now. Another 5 minutes they would be taking. That's the indication. So let's hold on.
Maya, another 2 minutes more.
Okay, fine. Okay. A very interesting session, suggestion from one of our examiners. If anybody wants to share their thoughts on the program, please raise your hands. We can have you under spotlight. Yeah. Anybody would like to share their experience? Today's sessions, one was manufacturing and the other one is education. So anybody would like to speak, please raise your hand. Okay, Megha. Presenter Megha Gupta. Okay, tell me Megha.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing this competition. And secondly, to the judges to give me the opportunity to speak in here. it was definitely a very wonderful experience for me. I could get to know about various schools who are actually starting such best practices at the very beginners level. Good to know that, and I definitely would like to get associated with people in here, and would like to be in contact with such people, so that in future, if we are starting with such practices, if we need any sort of help or guidance, we would like to be in contact with you. This was really wonderful. And secondly, I would like to share that all the practices which are being followed in the schools and in the recent engineering institutions, we are also following the same since years. So like the ones who are having this into a budding stage, we are actually having it into the blooming stage. So TCT is actually following all the practices which are being shared in here, and we are at the blossom of that particular stage, all the practices. And this was really wonderful platform for us to share in all our experiences and the practices that we are following. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Megha, so much. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share their thoughts? I think Asher, you can see. Yes, Asher has raised his hand. Asher?
Yes, thank you, Maya. First of all, excellent presentation by all the participants. And looking at the sector, that education sector, and I think it's very relevant topics have been chosen, and the content, as the poll has also given, that content has ruled, and all the presenters had very excellent content. What is interesting to note are that at this tender age, the schools are connecting to the UN development goals, social development goals. That was fantastic. Even industry is not connecting, and here you have the education sector building this and nurturing at such levels that it really brings in the tremendous awareness, I think, and the future population is going to be really more I would say responsible than the current one.
Definitely.
So hats off to all the presenters, and yeah, fantastic.
Thank you so much, Kailash.
And congratulations to you also and your team for the excellent arrangement. Yeah.
Thank you, Kailash. Thank you.
The judges have come out of the room, Maya, and we have a decision.
Okay, the judges have converged. Okay, the judges can now announce the winners. Thank you so much. Welcome back.
So let me begin by saying a thank you. I've had an exhilarating and enriching afternoon and learned all the more as an educator as well. I have the privilege of declaring the second runner-up. And if I can add a little bit of, weighting to that, let me say it is Global Indian International School, Whitefield.
Wow.
So GIIS Whitefield, our second runner-up. Congratulations to you, and
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good run.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, who's the first runner-up, sir?
I think Dr. Dashrath will announce the first runner-up.
Okay, Dashrath. Dashrath, you were announcing the first runner-up?
Yeah, the first runner-up is Thakur College of Engineering.
Oh, very nice. Great. Ma'am is coming out with the trophy winner.
Yes.
And the winner, of course, all teams did exceedingly well.
Indeed.
All practices are outstanding. But this is a competition. It was a difficult task for the judges to choose who were at the top. But yes, we had to do that difficult task. And the winner is One World International School, Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Hearty congratulations
I think
to them, the entire team, for
to all the winning
nurturing
organizers.
values, for creating responsible and caring future citizens.
Great. Congratulations to her. So I would request the winners to say a few words, starting with the second runner-up. I would request Sukhdeep Kaur or Preeta De Mello from Global Indian International School, Whitefield, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. On behalf of GIS Whitefield, it is a great privilege to be here today and to accept. We are very humbled by the award that you have bestowed upon us. All credit goes to Ms. Sukhdeep Kaur and the students. I know they have worked very hard. They've done a wonderful job. And with the continuing pandemic situation and children continuing to use online social platforms, we hope that, as you suggested, ma'am, it will be a judicious mix, that they will be able to separate the good from the bad, and they would be able to use it for the best of their benefit. Thank you so much. Sukhdeep, you want to say something?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much to IMC for giving us this privilege and honor to present for such a prestigious award. I'm very grateful to the organization. I would also like to say thank you to our principal and Ms. Preeta De Mello. She has always been mentor and always guiding us through this project, and this project is still continued. we are going to have this best practice forever, so till we can make a positive change in our younger generation.
All the best to you and your team.
Thank you
so
much.
much.
All the best.
All the best.
Thank you very
We
much.
now call
Thank
upon
you.
Dr. Lochin Jolly Omega from Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, first runner-up, to please say a few words. Yeah.
I would like to thank IMC for selecting our best practice as the first runner-up. I'm really thankful for the judges. Your questions were actually has given us another way of looking at what we may have missed out. So I thank you for the questions, and this actually, I would say, this recognition is a more encouragement for the team to keep working, because their work has been recognized. So thank you all from the team of skill development in-house from Thakur College of Engineering.
Thank you, ma'am, and wish you
and all the best.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We now request Michelle Dickinson and Luna Deller, One World International School, Singapore, for winning the MQH trophy. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the school and to you.
Please say a few words.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you so much for your kind recognition of what we're trying to achieve at One World. We really, really very much appreciate your acknowledgement, the judges' acknowledgement of some of the things that we are trying to do, and also for your guiding questions, which allowed us to share our practice with you. So thank you for that. I'd also just like to say very well done to everyone else who's presented this evening. I thought all the presentations were unique and innovative. And it's competitions like this that allow all of us to learn from each other. And so thank you very much for the opportunity, and we look forward to being able to be part of this again in the future and share more practice with you. So thank you to you, the organisers, as well. Thank you so much for your time. We are really, really delighted to receive this from you. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, and wish you the very best.
Wish you the very best.
Congratulations.
I thank all our judges for this session, Dr. Alka Mitra, Dr. Dashrath Shetty, and Father Dr. Vincent Braganza for giving us their time to judge this session. Thank you so much. It was really, the questions were very good, and I think triggering a lot of thought process in the organizations. Thank you so much for your valuable contribution.
Thank you from me. I had a great evening. Absolutely fabulous and good organization. Congratulations to Maya and the team. Ashita, Manjusha, all of you.
Congratulations once again to all the winners. Thank you.
And thank you.
So we end and meet each other tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Ratin, congratulations to you.
Thank you all the judges, for such a wonderful questions. It has given some insight for us how we can even polish our best practice further. So thank you for your very sharp and crisp questions, and we'll definitely look into it. Thank you so much.
All the best. All the best.
All the best.
Yeah.
So see you all tomorrow for service category at 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good
Mother.
evening. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, ma'am.
Bye.
Hi, Jashrath. Yeah.
Bye.